Welcome to another edition of Crime Time with DutyRon. I'm a retired New York City police detective with 20 years of law enforcement. And if you like all things true crime related from a police perspective, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you will get all things DutyRon when I go live or upload another video. Today, we are going to cover the Gabby Petito autopsy results live from the Teton County Coroner's office. Again, this is a bittersweet day. We've all been waiting to find out what her cause of death is, and we may or may not find out some of the details that everybody wants to know. It all depends on what the coroner wants to release. Again, this is not a day to celebrate. This is a day to move forward. It's a day to get information and to find out how Gabby Petito met her demise, how she was murdered, and it is not a pleasant thing to deal with. We're going to try to do the best that we can. I'm listening to WFLA Live. I have the live feed open. I figured I would take 10 minutes just to talk to you guys and get a feeling for how everybody's feeling about this. And I quickly found out that everybody's anxiety level is I did a quick poll on the live stream to ask everybody how they were feeling, and it was a poll of 1 to 10 on anxiety, and there was so many different responses. I put a 5 in the chat because I'm feeling, either way. I want to know what happened, and I want to move forward. But more so, we want to bring Brian Laundrie or whoever is responsible for her demise to justice. And I have a good feeling, if I was a betting man, that Brian Laundrie would be the one to be brought to justice. And this information today, ladies and gentlemen, will not be released. They will not be releasing if Brian Laundrie is suspect number 1. That will not be released today. The cause of death, whether it is by asphyxiation, by her, there could be many different factors: asphyxiation, gunshot, by knife wound, by blunt trauma. There is so many different possibilities here, ladies and gentlemen. So again, everyone's chiming in with their stress levels. I'm keeping an eye on the feed, the live feed, but we will bring you the audio and video of this news conference, and it won't be long. I don't anticipate the doctor to speak very long about this. Again, we heard the FBI say this is not their press conference, but I want to say quickly hello to the moderators and all of the channel members and my Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome, and I greatly appreciate all the new subscribers and everybody coming in. Hi, Dylan. Good to see you. They may not go into the talks. They may not go into that here. Tonight, 8 o'clock, 8 p.m., I'll be live with Ed Wallace. Barbara Butcher is going to be traveling. She is on a travel day, so she will be coming home shortly. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m., so the following evening, 8 p.m., that's Wednesday, I'm going to have Barbara Butcher. It's going to give her a chance to analyze and go over the autopsy. I don't think the results are going to be, they're not going to be talking about detailed results, but it'll give Barbara a chance to absorb what the coroner's office puts out today. And then we will have a conversation tomorrow night at 8. But tonight, Ed Wallace, who is a forensic specialist, a crime scene specialist, he is going to go over with me the results of what they talk about here today. So we are going to do that tonight. We're going to break this down. It's going to give us 4 or 5 hours to settle in. We'll get a chance to think about it and then have a conversation. Let me say thank you to the super chatters. Danielle Cook, Cole, thank you for the $20 super chat. And also thank you, Vlad Bass, for the super sticker, the $10 super sticker. Brannick Bacca says, so grateful for this live YouTube. I don't have TV. This feeling of connection really helps me with anxiety. Oh, it's my pleasure, and I'm glad to bring it to you. Thank you. I did have Ed on the other night, and we're going to have him on again. We're going to have him on again because he is a world of information. He has a wealth of information. He is a world-class crime scene expert, and he's going to break down what he is going to be watching this live as it goes on, just as many of us are going to be watching it live. I have my secondary device here, and I'm watching WFLA now. I know that JB, hashtag JB, is going to have this live, and we're going to watch and listen. We're going to watch and listen as JB puts it out. Of course, I'm not home, as you could see. I'm in the mobile. This is how dedicated I am to my subscribers and friends. I like to call you guys friends, but you're also subscribers, but I like to call you friends. So this is how dedicated I am to my friends. I took my my lunch break. I came out here. I fired up StreamYard. I tried to figure out if I could share the actual live video, and unfortunately, I can't from the mobile. But I am going to show you the best that I can. What I could show you, and you'll get the audio and some video visual for those of you who are outside the United States, or for those of you who don't have access to TV. Let me know here in the live chat if this is helpful to you. Thank you for joining from Lancaster, California. Hi, Denise. Good to see you. Thank you. Gabby is in heaven. Janelle Keen says Gabby is in heaven. Let me highlight some of these comments. Thank you, Anne Marie Rubenecker. Thank you so much, out in Suffolk County. Smee sends in some hearts and love. Denise Perez, give Dad a big hug from me. We're coming up in a few minutes. We should be starting live in a few minutes with this press conference. I'm monitoring WFLA now, and I may be behind. Okay, here we go.
Which you mentioned, JB, to our earlier audience, now getting more viewers here on Facebook. You've had some communication with the family, and this will not be a surprise for her parents. I think that is an important thing to mention, JB. That
so I'm keeping an eye on this.
Dr. Brent Blue goes public, whatever findings.
We're waiting for Dr. Brent Blue to come live. He's going to be doing it by Zoom. So just understand, a Zoom connection isn't always the most clear connection. So just be aware. There's always some type of things that go on with Zoom. Gemma, thank you for joining and becoming a channel member back. I appreciate that. Happy belated birthday to you, Gemma. Again, you know, we're going to see what Dr. Brent Blue has to say, and it should be momentarily. Let me just scan the chat really quick. But just let me know if you're outside the country, or if you don't have access to this, if this is going to be helpful to you. Let me know in the chat if this is helpful, or if you already have. Okay, Angie already says no TV. So this is going to benefit Angie. That's for sure. Lee McKenna, justice for Gabby. A10 Sweetie, thank you for that. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you, Factual Breakdown. Always a pleasure to have you here. Much love and respect to you. Joey, good to see you. That's Egg Drop Joey. Great to see you, my brother. Thank you. All right. Let me just make sure that we got what's going on here. Hold on. Let me highlight this. Sherilyn Snowfirth, thank you so much for the $10 super chat, and thank you for being a channel member. Thank you. All the best info. Here we go, guys.
Justin will come back here after this press conference. We'll come back here live. They have progress. They're about to unmute. We'll watch for your hashtag HJB, hashtag HJustin comments here, and we'll have your reaction and discuss how this impacts Gabby Petito, Brian Laundrie going forward here live on WFLA Now after the Teton County press conference here gets concluded.
All right, we have no audio. So he's trying to work out the audio.
As of right now here, folks, we understand this is Dr. Brent Blue.
Let me know if you can hear this.
Right there in the bottom left-hand portion of your screen, you will see that mute icon. People who are very Zoom savvy know that he has not unmuted himself here yet. So perhaps waiting.
Let me know if the audio is good.
When he and I think he's now going to be muted or unmuting himself here in a moment. And you'll see some of the chat come in here as well. This is, again, just a raw Zoom call, but really, again, we're long listening here for the autopsy.
Thank you all for joining us. I am Dr. Brent Blue, Teton County, Wyoming coroner. After a detailed investigation by our forensic pathologist, our anthropologist, and local law enforcement, with assistance from the FBI, the Teton County Coroner Office is filing the following verdict in the death of Gabrielle Lenora Petito. We hereby find the cause and manner of death to be the cause, death by strangulation, and manner is homicide. By Wyoming state statute, no other information will be released about the autopsy. The only thing that is released in the state of
Death by strangulation, folks.
the manner of death.
I think they said they can't hear you. Just 1 second.
Okay, we just heard him say death by strangulation, and that was one of my predictions. I predicted that he strangled her.
Thank you for joining us. Sorry about the audio issue. I'm Dr. Brent Blue, Teton County, Wyoming coroner. After a detailed investigation by our forensic pathologist, our anthropologist, and local law enforcement, with assistance from the FBI, the Teton County Coroner's Office is following the following verdict. In the manner of death of Gabrielle Lenora Petito, we find the cause and manner to be cause, death by strangulation, and manner is homicide. By Wyoming state statute.
Okay, that's enough for me.
Cause and manner of death are released. Their autopsy findings and photographs and that sort of material is not released by state statute. And I'll be glad to entertain some questions at this time.
All right, I'm going to hold for the questions.
Hi, Brian. This is Alex with the News and Guide. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm curious whether you're able to pinpoint a date of death and when, and if you know whether or when Gabby's remains will be returned to her family.
The remains have been returned to the mortuary here, and the mortuary is dealing with the family at this time as far as the disposition of the remains. As far as the time of death, we are estimating 3 to 4 weeks from the time that the body was found. That is actually determined by law enforcement folks than than our office.
3 to 4 weeks time of death. 3 to 4 weeks prior to being brought into his office.
Vivian, you are able to ask your question.
What's the question? I didn't hear a question.
Chris, I believe that you are muted.
So they're having some technical difficulties.
Yourself.
Okay, it's John Walsh from In Pursuit with John Walsh on Discovery ID. Dr. Blue, thank you for your time. I think everybody in the world believes that Brian Laundrie killed Gabby. With your extensive work on the body, are you sure that it's Brian Laundrie? And will the FBI issue a nationwide homicide warrant now that they know the cause of death?
Jesus. No, he can't answer that.
We are only tasked with the determination of cause and manner of death. Who committed the homicide?
How could John Walsh think that he could answer that question? Seriously.
Question about the FBI. You would have to contact them.
Thank you. That was a waste of time.
Copus, you are now allowed to ask your question.
That was
Yes,
ridiculous.
hello, doctor. If you could, please, can you comment on any other bruising, maybe on the body that possibly was healing?
This is a good question.
Older bruises or cuts that might have been healing over the last couple of weeks before her passing.
By Wyoming state statute, no other information about the autopsy is released, just the cause of death.
Okay. You didn't answer that
Hi
question.
there, this is Heather Lee, a reporter at ABC Action News in Tampa, Florida. I just wanted to know if you could explain why it took about a month for this process to finish. I think a lot of people were hoping that they would learn this information sooner. So I just think if you could just explain the process and why it took a month.
Well, the main reason was that we were very exacting in our examination and the detail by which that examination was done. We were waiting for various specialists to come in and help us with this investigation. We were waiting on toxicology to be returned, and it was just a matter of making sure we had everything right.
Thank you.
John Walsh, very disappointed in him. He continually, I think he's losing his mind.
Brian Enton,
Here's Brian.
I believe you're unmuted right now. Okay.
Just let me know if you can hear this audio
Fabian?
okay.
Yes, hi, doctor. How are you? I am curious if any DNA samples were taken from Gabby's remains, and also if the body was intact. Are you able to tell us the condition of Gabby's remains?
I can tell you the DNA samples were taken by law enforcement, and all I can tell you about remains is that the body was outside for 3 to 4 weeks.
The coroner is saying the body was outside for 3 to 4 weeks. We certainly are going to have a lot to talk about. Okay, great. Thank you on the sound.
Vivian, do you have your hand up?
Was that a question? I didn't hear the question there. Question.
Dr. Blue?
Yes.
Hey, Sassy
It's John
Ray.
Walsh again from In Pursuit with John Walsh.
John Walsh. Oh, my God.
You will probably be the most important witness at the trial. And I asked you before how confident you feel that Brian Laundrie, and they
Why?
used the semantics. He was a person of interest. I'm old school. He was the only suspect ever. And I just wonder, you're going to be the most important guy at the trial, probably.
That's not true.
Do you have any doubts it's Brian Laundrie?
I can't make any comment about any suspects because we're not involved in that part of the investigation.
Thank
We're
you.
only involved in the investigation
Oh,
of
my
the
God.
body of the
This
deceased.
guy is embarrassing.
So, who committed the homicide is really to be determined by law enforcement.
Right, but I thank you for your hard work. And I always say in so many cases I've been involved in, let the pathologist and the coroner do their work no matter how long it takes. So I think you've probably done a really good job on this case. Thank you for your time.
Hey there, doctor. This is Rochelle Aline with ABC Action News in Tampa. Just a quick question. Can you kind of walk us through the process to how you arrived at this specific manner of death?
In the state of Wyoming, there are 4 possibilities for the manner of death. They are homicide, suicide, accident, and natural. And those are the 4 choices. When we do an investigation, we look at the crime scene or the scene of the death. The scene of the body, the condition of the body, and findings at autopsy and toxicology. And that is how we arrive at the manner of death. So it really depends on lots of different circumstances.
That was bad.
Dr. Stephen Fabian again from Inside Edition. Can you tell us if the body was buried when it was discovered or if the body was on the surface?
I can't tell you that. That's would be something you'd have to ask the FBI because we're not allowed to release that information.
All right, next question.
Kelly Vaughn. Do you have a question, Kelly Vaughn? We have Brian Enting in the chat who has a question. What's your question, Brian? Was there any impact on her body from weather or wild animals in the national park?
So he's asking if she was.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Was there any impact on her body from weather or wild animals in the national park?
All I can really comment about that is that her body was outside in the wilderness for 3 to 4 weeks.
The answer to that is yes.
KSL assignment, you were unmuted.
This is frustrating.
KSL assignment.
Hello, Dan Rascone here from KSL TV in Salt Lake. Dr. Blue, can you tell us at all whether or not was it believed that she was murdered there at that location, or is it any indication that her body was drugged there or taken there, or can you give us any indication there?
I can't comment on that. That would be something you'd have to speak with the law enforcement or the FBI.
Matthew Sella.
This is painful.
Matthew Sella, do you have a question?
Hey, Dr. Blue. It's actually Jimmy from DailyMail.com in New York here. What were the results of the toxicology report? And is there any suggestion that Gabby had any drugs in her system? And if so, what were they?
The results of the toxicology are not public knowledge by why I issued, so I can't comment about that.
Thank you.
We have a question from the chat. Was Gabby Petito pregnant?
She was not pregnant.
Not pregnant. They ruled that out 100%. Okay, so
Thomas
not
Tope?
pregnant.
Hi, Doctor.
Death by
My
strangulation.
question, did you seek the advice of a forensic entomologist or forensic botanist during the course of your investigation?
The FBI has sent materials to a forensic entomologist.
3 to 4 weeks on that question on the screen. Yeah, though the questions about,
WPBF 25 News.
Hi, Doctor. This is Terry Parker from WPBF in Palm Beach County, Florida. I'm wondering if you said you were very thorough in this autopsy and examination. Could you give us an example of the type of test and analysis you performed?
This autopsy included a whole body CAT scan, a examination by a forensic pathologist, an examination by a forensic anthropologist, and toxicology evaluation. So we pretty much covered all the bases.
all bases covered. As
Jeremy,
Barbara Butcher said, they will dot their I's and cross their T's.
Yes, Doctor, thank you for taking the question again. You mentioned that strangulation is the cause of death. Can you talk about how you came to that conclusion?
I cannot. That is part of the autopsy findings and is not discoverable by Wyoming statute.
Was there any other cause of death that was a possibility in this case?
Well, we look at all causes, all possibilities when we try to determine cause of death. But this is the cause of death that we determined.
I have a question from chat. It is, was the manner of death obvious? Strangulation marks, bones, injured neck.
The manner, nothing is obvious in a situation like this. So a detailed analysis was used both to determine manner and cause of death. I can't go into details on how we made those decisions.
Kristen Thorne.
Hi, Dr. Kristen Thorne with WABC in New York. Could you just please repeat about how long you believe the body was out there? Unfortunately, the last time you spoke, we just didn't get a good film shot of you saying that. Would you mind repeating that?
Our initial determination is the body was in the wilderness for 3 to 4 weeks.
Thank you.
3 to 4 weeks. That's their determination.
Jorge Fitzgibbon. You have to unmute. I believe you're still muted.
Sorry about that. Good afternoon, Dr. Blue. Relating back to the date of death, is there a date listed on the death certificate?
The death certificate has not been completed at this time, and the death certificates of the state of Wyoming allow for approximate dates and variability in those dates. So I doubt, there will not be an exact date of death on the death certificate.
Bonnie, I agree with that statement.
Eileen with News 12.
Hi, doctor. This is Eileen LaPalmer from News 12. We sort of asked it a little bit, but is there a way that you can explain how you know that it was strangulation? Sometimes I know that a hyoid bone could be missing. Is that something that you discovered in this case?
He's not going to be able to tell her
I
that.
can't comment on that because it would be a finding of the autopsy. And as I stated before, in the state of Wyoming,
We will find out about that.
results are not public knowledge.
So then you can't clarify whether it was manual strangulation or with an item, correct?
That's correct.
Thank you for the super chat.
Michael Ruiz.
Thanks for making time for us, doctor. Was the entire examination conducted at your lab in Jackson, or was Gabby Petito's body shipped to another facility?
The examination was done entirely at our org in Teton County, Wyoming.
The entire exam was done there, not anywhere else. He asked if the body was removed to another facility.
Gregorio.
Gregorio. It's actually Ashley Banfield with News Nation. Doctor, thank you for taking the time today.
Banfield.
Can I ask you if from the very beginning of your process, was it obvious that the cause, not the manner, that the cause was strangulation and that you just needed this time to prove it out? Or were you completely unaware from the beginning what the cause of death was for Gabby Petito and had to resolve through a number of puzzle solving manners and other experts to arrive at that final cause determination?
In a situation like this, nothing is obvious. And so the cause of death required investigation.
We have a William Walkie.
Hey there, Dr. Blue. My name is Will. I'm from KHOL Jacksonville Community Radio here in Jackson. You're a small town coroner here in Western Wyoming. This case got so much national attention, as we can see right now. Can you speak on what it was like doing your job with such a big spotlight on you? Thanks.
Well, it was quite the media circus and continues to be. Unfortunately, this is only one of many deaths around the country of people who are involved in domestic violence. And it's unfortunate that these other deaths do not get as much coverage as this one. I'm assuming that because the deceased was a blogger, that this received more coverage than
Wow.
others. But there are a lot of both men and women who have lost their lives that aren't covered with this kind of media attention.
Kudos to this doctor. That took a pair of balls to say that, and I like that he did.
Yes, hello. This is Francis DiFiore from the Port Charlotte Sun. I just want to go back to my previous question, although I imagine your response. Is there anything you can tell us about how exactly you determined it was a 3 to 4 week period before death?
I can't go into that kind of information at this time.
I understand. Thank you very much.
Folks, this is JB Buno on WFLA Now. We're going to go back to the Zoom call here in just a second. We do have an update from the attorney of Brian Laundrie. Stephen Bertolino has issued a statement. That's coming up here next.
We have the snack squad.
Hey, this is Andy Mercado from Mercado Media. Could you go over the length of time the autopsy report took? And thank you for your time, Dr. Blue.
Well, the length of time was involved in the sense that we received a report from the investigating and examining forensic pathologist. We had a report done by our anthropologist, and we had toxicology studies that were done in addition to the report from the radiologic studies. So all these came together, and that's what took time for us to complete this investigation.
Hi, Doctor. Could you speak to the state of decomposition, and did that at all hinder your investigation?
I can't comment on that.
Obviously.
Dr. Blue, would you like to take any more questions?
That was enough.
Unless there's other specific questions that haven't been answered already, why don't we close this? And thank you all very much for your participation. And I can tell you that I will not be answering any other detailed questions about the autopsy. As I said, state statute prevents us from doing that. So contacting me by email and phone is not going to reveal any additional information. But thank you for your time, and I appreciate your interest.
Dr. Blue, I have one more question. Is there a way to determine if this was accidental or deliberate?
It's not accidental.
You mean in the sense of a homicide?
Yes.
That would be up to law enforcement to make that determination.
Great, thank you.
It's already been determined, homicide.
Again, thank you all very much for your time.
These questions, man. All right. So I'm just going to, I just want to let you guys know. Okay. So there's a statement, obviously, by the Laundrie attorney. I'm curious to hear what the Laundrie attorney has to say.
The Teton County Coroner's Office, an answer that tells us how she died. But so many of you here in the comments asking, will there ever be justice for Gabby? Hey there, folks. JB Buno here with you live on WFLA Now. That was, of course, I'm sure, hard news for a lot of people to digest. Gabby Petito dying of strangulation, according to this press conference that was called here today, October 12th, 2021, here, 2:30 Eastern Time.
All right, I'm going to pause this. I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to...
We do get a really couple of...
All right, I'm going to pause this and address Mrs. B. She puts in the chat, why do you not like John Walsh so badly? I don't understand what he said so wrong. Well, I'm going to tell you a few things he said wrong, and then I'm going to end the conversation about it. Number one, he went on Banfield weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, and he on public and national television and internationally, people saw this, he on national television, internationally broadcast, told Brian Laundrie to take his own life and spare everybody the court processing, the searching. He suggested another human being take their own life. And nobody should do that. So let me tell you, Mrs. B, or whoever you are, John Walsh has become unhinged. And the things that he said on national television on Banfield, and I played it, and I'll play it again. It is despicable, disgraceful, and nobody, I don't care who you are, I don't care what happened to you, what happened to your son is horrible, but it doesn't give you a green light. It doesn't give you a hall pass, a pass to go and tell another human being to take their own life, even if that human being is an evil, sick monster. Nobody has the right to do that. And he did that. And then he just now asked some ridiculous questions on this press conference with this medical examiner. So there's two things. While I take that comment off the grid, he has become unhinged, and the things that he is saying and doing is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. He has no business asking those questions and saying what he said. First and foremost, what he said, if anybody here condones another person taking their own life, I can't be friends with you, I can't like you, and I will never like you. So I lost all respect for John Walsh based on his statement that he made on national television. And then furthermore, he stated that in front of Gabby Petito's family on another show, he stated that the daughter was beaten to death. And we come to find out, fast forward today, that that was not the case. She was not beaten to death. Okay, so there's three different things that he's done. And I don't think I need to say any more about John Walsh. If you're a supporter of John Walsh and you like him, then have at it. But if you like him, then we can't be friends. And that's how I feel, because based on the things that he's saying, and anybody that's an internet bully or a tough guy and tells someone to take their own life, if you think that that's cool, I don't think it's cool. I don't think it's cool one bit. Anyways, tonight, 8 p.m., I will have Ed Wallace. We are going to cover this press conference. We're going to go over everything that was spoken about here today. We're going to talk about the medical examiner's press conference and everything Gabby Petito. And we've gotten some answers here today. We know that it's death by strangulation. I did make a comment early on that I felt that he either in her sleep strangled her or smothered her or took her out into that field and lured her out there and then did it out there. So those are my two thoughts. And everybody asks me, DutyRon, what's your opinion? What's your thoughts? Those were my thoughts from the beginning. I felt that he either caught her in her sleep and strangled her or smothered her. And we come to find out today it was death by strangulation, or he brought her out into the field where they found her 250 yards from that van and did that strangulation out in the field. So guys, I'm wishing you a lot of love and respect. God bless the world. God bless the United States of America. And God bless each and every one of us here in the chat. Thank you for joining. Especially, we want to pray for Gabby Petito and her family. They need us now, sending them strength, positive vibes to the Schmitz and Petito family. Take care from New York.